It was 2005 in a beautiful coastal town with rugged cliffs and pristine beaches. Port Macquarie, which nestled along the eastern coast of Australia, was said to have been a haven for marine life enthusiasts and adventure seekers. The warm waters were reportedly home to a rich diversity of sea creatures, ranging from playful dolphins to formidable sharks. The stunning coastline and vibrant marine ecosystem that thrived beneath the waves were a source of pride for the locals. On one fateful summer day, the rocky tide pools that lined the shore were being explored by young Wilson Mills, a curious 13-year-old with a heart full of wonder. It was not known to him that a colossal stingray, which was known to the locals as Aurelia, had ventured into the shallows. The immense size and gentle disposition of this majestic creature were widely recognized. However, it had never been reported to have come so close to the shore before. Aurelia was startled by Wilson's presence, and its powerful tail was whipped, inadvertently grazing the boy's leg. Both the stingray and the young Australian were overcome with fear. Wilson, who was struggling against the pain, stumbled back, feeling his heart pounding in his chest. Wilson's eyes were filled with tears, not only due to the pain, but also because of the shock caused by the unexpected encounter. He was watching as Aurelia, the enormous stingray, was seen gliding gracefully away into the deeper waters. Meanwhile, on the sandy shore, the commotion was spotted by Sarah Thompson, an experienced lifeguard with wind-tousled blonde hair and sharp, observant eyes. Without a second thought, the scene was sprinted towards her, her heart pounding in rhythm with the crashing waves. The injured Wilson was reached by Sarah just in time. The wound was assessed by Sarah, with her fingers working deftly and with precision. It was cleaned and dressed by her as best as she could with the supplies she had on hand. The boy's pain was beginning to subside, being replaced by a profound sense of gratitude. Wilson whispered, his voice trembling as he expressed his gratitude to the woman, referring to her as ma'am. Sarah offered him a warm smile, with her eyes filled with reassurance. She told Wilson that he was a brave young man, with her voice being steady and comforting. Wilson was assured that he would be all right. Sarah suggested that he be returned to his family. Wilson was helped to his feet by her, and they made their way back to the safety of the shore together. The encounter spread through the small town like wildfire, capturing the hearts of locals and visitors alike. The incident between Wilson and Aurelia was said to have become a topic of conversation in every household, as it was reported that their tale of bravery and resilience echoed through the streets of Port Macquarie. Wilson's fascination with the marine world was further deepened in the days that followed. He was immersed in books about sea creatures, spending hours at the local library, absorbing every bit of knowledge he could find. It was also reported that he had started volunteering at the town's marine center, where he cared for injured and stranded sea life. As the passing months were witnessed, Wilson's leg was healed, leaving behind only a faint scar which served as a reminder of his fateful encounter with Aurelia. He often stood upon the same shore as he gazed out at the vast expanse of the ocean, pondering about the gentle giant that had changed his life. One quiet evening, as the sun lay below the horizon, a warm golden glow was cast across the water, and Wilson felt a strange, inexplicable pull. A presence beneath the waves was sensed by him as if he was being called out to by the ocean itself. With a mixture of trepidation and exhilaration, Wilson was waded into the water as the waves were gently lapping against his legs. His eyes were closed and he allowed himself to be enveloped by the rhythm of the ocean. And then, as if his silent invitation was being responded to, a soft, almost imperceptible touch was felt against his leg. His eyes were opened and he saw Aurelia, the magnificent stingray, gliding beside him. The wisdom that transcended time was seemingly held in her eyes, which were deep and ancient. At that moment, it was known by Wilson that this encounter was not a mere coincidence. A connection had been forged in the depths of the untamed ocean, a bond that defied explanation. He reached out a hand, and with a gentle touch, the subtle vibrations of Aurelia's energy could be felt by him. From that day forward, Wilson and Aurelia had become inseparable companions. They explored the hidden wonders of the underwater world, with their hearts beating in sync with the ebb and flow of the tides. The story became a bravery legend in Port Macquarie, serving as a testament to the remarkable connections that could be established between humans and the untamed creatures that inhabited the sea. The awe-inspiring sight of Wilson and Aurelia, a boy and a stingray, gliding through the waters as if they were one, was witnessed by visitors from far and wide. As the years went by, Wilson's knowledge and understanding of marine life were gradually increasing, and he was regarded as a beacon of inspiration for the next generation of ocean enthusiasts. The story of his legacy was said to have lived on in the hearts of those who had heard it, serving as a constant reminder that the untamed world was believed to hold wonders and connections that surpassed the limits of human imagination. And so, in the coastal town of Port Macquarie, the legend of Stingray and the 13-year-old Australian boy Wilson Mills echoed through the ages. It was indeed said to be a tale of bravery, wonder, and the enduring bond between a young boy and a magnificent creature of the sea. In 2009, in the heart of Australia's rugged and picturesque Coral Bay, where the shores of the Ningaloo Reef were kissed by turquoise waters, a young adventurer named Barack Wayne was about to face the challenge of his life. At just 13 years old, a deep connection to the sea and all its wonders had been grown up with by this Australian boy. A small tourist shop was run by his family, which offered snorkeling gear and guided tours for those who sought to explore the mesmerizing underwater world. Barack had always been drawn to the tales of marine life, but he was not prepared for the extraordinary encounter that awaited him. Coral Bay, a small coastal town in Western Australia, had been nestled between the vast, arid outback and the pristine waters of the Indian Ocean. The idyllic town was known for its vibrant marine life and the world-famous Ningaloo Reef, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The fragile ecosystem was teeming with vibrant coral formations, schools of colorful fish, and on occasion the mild giants of the ocean, whale sharks. But on that fateful day, the sky was painted with hues of pink and orange by the sun as it began its descent, and an eerie glow was cast on the calm waters of Coral Bay. Barack, with his tousled blonde hair and a curious gleam in his blue eyes, had just finished his chores at the family shop. Little did he know that his life was about to be changed forever. The town had been swept through by news of a peculiar and unnerving occurrence like wildfire. The locals spoke of a natural species lurking beneath the surface, an entity that had ignited fear and curiosity alike. Stingrays were said to be behaving strangely, coming too close to the shoreline and even menacing the swimmers. As the incidents became more frequent, anxiety was settled over the community. The safety of the tourists who brought their business was a concern for Barack's parents, who joined the chorus of voices expressing worry about this inexplicable behavior. One evening, the setting sun was gazed at by Barack when he overheard his parents' concerned whispers. The shop was being contemplated to be closed, and Coral Bay was considered left in order to find a safer livelihood. The thought of losing his connection to the sea was unbearable to the boy, and it was then that he decided to take matters into his own hands. Barack felt a sense of responsibility that belied his young age as he began his own investigation. Hours were spent by him reading books and articles on marine life, attempting to uncover the mystery behind the altered behavior of the stingrays. The town he loved was determined to be protected by him, and he devised a plan to observe the creatures up close and gather the evidence he needed to unravel the enigma. Armed with snorkeling gear and a waterproof camera, Barack embarked on a daring quest to interact with the stingrays that had been causing such distress. The waters were ventured into by him, with his heart pounding, and he found himself face to face with the eerie, otherworldly beauty of the reef. The coral formations were darted among schools of fish, while the scene was painted with life by an array of colorful sea creatures. Barack noticed a peculiar pattern after a series of breathtaking dives. He observed that the usually gentle and graceful stingrays appeared agitated and assembled in a particular area. He approached the site cautiously, with his camera capturing every moment. As he got closer, the shadows beneath him were seen to be shifting, and a massive silhouette was observed to have appeared. A colossal stingray, much larger than any he had ever seen, rose from the depths. The wingspan was awe-inspiring, and it moved with a majestic grace that sent shivers down Barack's spine. It was observed that the creature's eyes appeared to possess an ancient, wondrous wisdom, and it stared at him with an intensity that exceeded the usual. Barack watched in awe as the colossal stingray began to communicate with him in a way that transcended words. It seemed as though they shared a connection that spanned generations, an understanding that beckoned him deeper into the water. The massive creature guided Barack as he delved into the wonders of the reef. A delicate balance of life and death was witnessed by him, along with the struggles of survival and the eternal dance of the ocean's inhabitants. It was clear to him that the stingrays were not the enemy, but guardians of the reef, protecting it from an impending threat. As the sun lay below the horizon, Barack realized that the actual conflict was not between him and the stingrays, but between the fragile ecosystem and the encroaching influence of humanity. It was said that the reef was being caused irreparable damage by pollution, overfishing, and the changing climate. It was also reported that the unusual behavior of the stingrays was seen as a cry for help, as they desperately tried to draw attention to the peril that the Ningaloo Reef was facing. Barack Wayne returned to the surface, and his camera was filled with stunning footage of his encounter with the colossal stingray. He knew that the world needed to see the reef's beauty and understand the consequences of their actions. With his family's support, he embarked upon a mission to raise awareness about the Ningaloo Reef and the urgent need for its protection. The story of Barack Wayne was reported to have become a viral sensation. The incredible footage and the message it carried captivated people from all over the world. Donations were poured in, and marine conservation efforts were launched to safeguard the fragile ecosystem of Coral Bay, it was reported. The stingrays, their silent wisdom, were returned to their peaceful existence, knowing that an ally had been found in young Barack Wayne. The boy, who had once been determined to confront them, had instead been turned into their greatest advocate. Ultimately, the conflict was resolved through confrontation, understanding, and a shared commitment to protect the natural world. The connection between Barack and the colossal stingray was seen as a symbol of hope, serving as a reminder that even a 13-year-old boy could make a difference in the face of a wild world that required our care and protection. And so, in the end, a conclusion was reached, leaving the community with a sense of wonder and a renewed sense of responsibility toward the wild and untamed beauty of planet Earth. Not long ago, in the vibrant coastal town of Port Douglas, Queensland, nestled on the northeastern coast of Australia, the year had been 2007. Port Douglas was known for its stunning beaches, lush tropical rainforests, and the magnificent Great Barrier Reef that was said to stretch out into the azure waters of the Coral Sea. It was a place where adventures thrived, and stories of the untamed sea were often found to have their beginnings. Cowell Smith, a 13-year-old local boy, had a natural inclination towards exploration. With a shock of sun-bleached hair, freckles that dotted his face, and a spirit that was as untamable as the ocean, Cowell spent his days getting to know the marine life that surrounded his town. The cozy beachfront house, which was lived in by his family, was situated overlooking the vast ocean, thus fueling his love for the sea. Port Douglas had its share of wildlife encounters, but young Cowell held a special fascination for the stingrays. He had heard stories of their grace and power, and a yearning for a close encounter with one of these wondrous creatures had been felt. Cowell had a dream of swimming with the majestic stingrays of the Great Barrier Reef, and he had been preparing for this moment for years. One sunny morning, after a hearty breakfast with his family, Cowell decided it was time for his long-awaited adventure to embark on. Armed with his snorkeling gear, a wetsuit, and a heart brimming with excitement, he made his way to the marina. There, he would join a small group of tourists for a boat trip to the Great Barrier Reef. The boat ride was described as a scenic journey that had taken them through the mesmerizing turquoise waters. The reef was said to be teeming with colorful fish, and the air was filled with the sound of laughter and awe-inspired gasps, all while the vibrant coral formations were admired. Cowell felt a sense of wonder as he looked over the side of the boat into the crystal-clear waters, his eagerness to meet a stingray up close evident finally. Upon reaching the chosen location, the group decided to anchor near a particularly promising spot that was known for its abundance of marine life. As Cowell donned the snorkeling gear and prepared to dive in, the instructor offered some valuable advice. The instructor spoke to Cowell with a reassuring smile as he reminded Cowell that stingrays were gentle creatures. Cowell was advised to keep movements slow and steady, suggesting that if the individuals were comfortable with one's presence, they would likely come close. Nodding, Cowell felt a surge of excitement coursing through his veins as he took a deep breath and was plunged into the water. As his eyes were met with the underwater world, he was captivated by the vibrant colors of the coral and the fish darting among the crevices. A few of them were swimming alongside him, but his heart was set on encountering a stingray. As Cowell continued to explore, he found that his prayers had been answered. A magnificent, elegant creature emerged from the blue abyss, a stingray with a wingspan that seemed to be stretching endlessly. Cowell's breath was taken away as he observed the brownish-gray skin of the creature, which was adorned with white spots. The water was gracefully traversed by it, leaving Cowell in awe. He was watched in awe as the stingray glided past him. Its undulating motion hypnotized him. Cowell found himself unable to resist the temptation to extend his hand and make contact with the smooth and slippery back of the object. As he was doing so, the stingray's wings appeared to be caressing his fingers, and a sense of connection was felt between them. Cowell experienced a moment of pure magic, and he felt a feeling of being truly at one with the ocean. However, an unexpected turn was taken by this magical encounter. Without warning, Cowell was struck by the stingray's barbed tail, which was likely used by the creature due to feeling threatened or startled. His leg was pierced by the barb, causing a sharp and stinging pain to shoot through his body. Panicking, Cowell started to rise to the surface, feeling his heart pounding with fear. Upon returning to the boat, the commotion was observed by the tourists and the instructor, who promptly proceeded to pull Cowell aboard. His leg was found to be bleeding, causing him to experience excruciating pain. Help was immediately called for on the radio by the instructor as they raced back to the marina. As the shore was approached by the boat, Cowell clutched his leg with tears in his eyes. He had been brought so close to the stingray, yet the wild, untamed side of nature had been shown to him by the beauty and power of it. Cowell knew he was fortunate to be alive, as stingray encounters could be far more dangerous. At the local hospital, Cowell's wound was treated by doctors, who ensured no complications arose from the stingray's barb. The news of the brave encounter between the 13-year-old boy and a stingray quickly spread through the town. People marveled at his courage and lamented the unexpected turn of events. In the following weeks, Cowell's story continued to spread everywhere, as the tale of his bravery and deep reverence for the untamed beauty of the sea was recounted by many. His story was said to be a powerful reminder of the crucial significance of coexisting harmoniously with nature. The scar on his leg would forever remind him of that fateful encounter, but it was also seen as a symbol of the unique bond he had shared with the mighty stingray, he said. Cowell Smith's adventure had taught him that he believed the untamed world, with all its beauty and mystery, deserved both respect and admiration. As the years went by, the waters of the Great Barrier Reef continued to be explored by him. He understood that the sea was filled with stories yet to be told, each one being more captivating and unique than the previous ones. In the end, it was observed that Cowell's encounter with the stingray had left an indelible mark on his young soul. It served as a reminder that even in the face of the untamed, there was always room for awe, wonder, and the enduring spirit of exploration.